Thank you everyone for joining our September webinar. Wow, it's already September. The year is passing by very fast. Okay, so welcome to our September seminar, and today we are going to talk about agile leadership. So you might have heard about leadership, you might have heard about agile, but the leadership in the world of agile is very different. So as the team learns how to implement agile, the leaders also have to learn how to become an agile leaders. If that if leaders don't transform them to agile leadership, then agile in those organizations will not go too far. They'll still see some results. It's not that they won't see results, but it won't go too far. And we're going to talk about what does that mean. Um, so we'll talk about overview of the leadership, just to connect everybody about leadership, general basic concepts of leadership, what is leadership, and then we will have a little overview of agile concepts, so relating back the basics of agile, and then we'll get to have a deep dive on agile leadership. And if you are attentive and you participate in a quiz, we are going to have a quiz at the end of the webinar. And there will be a winner. If there is a quiz, there is going to be a winner. So Amazon, so winner is going to get a reward, a $10 Amazon gift card. So be attentive and pay attention, because the questions in the quiz most of them are related to the webinar. Some may be general questions, but most of them are related to that. And then we'll have a summary and Q&A. So this is our monthly webinar. We deliver it every Wednesday, first Wednesday of every month. And we come up with different topics that are relevant. And we usually do it at lunchtime, so you can eat lunch and be a little relaxed. So you are not in a meeting or working or something like that. So you can be more attentive and relaxed as well. You are more than welcome to provide inputs on the topics that you would like to hear. So that will be great. Okay. So let's start with what are your expectations from this webinar. So I have changed this little bit, and now we use a tool called as Menti. So what I would like you to do, to go to from your cell phones, laptops or tablets or whatever way, if you can go to menti.com and join it by entering the code. When you go to menti.com, you will see the a place to enter the code, and I would like you to enter the code, and then there will be two boxes for you to input your thoughts or your ideas. What are your expectations learning? Okay, very good. Somebody started already doing it. Very good. Better leadership, PDU. Yeah, PDUs are always something that is expectation from this kind of a webinar, and you will get one PDU for attending this webinar. Better leadership, PDU, very good. 6 people have already put in their expectation. Knowledge sharing. Seems like PDU is a winner so far, right? Very good. Learning agile, applying agile. Okay, self-improvement. Very good, very good. Just it coming. Yeah, I have about 30 plus people in the webinar. So 15 of you have so far shared your thoughts. So 50%. I'd like to go to 20 plus at least. to really see what most of you would like to learn from today. Of course, PDUs is definitely one thing. Learning is another thing. Leadership is another thing. Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Anybody else? Are you able to get there? Yeah, I think 20 of you got there, so it should be pretty easy. Should be pretty easy. I'll give you maybe 10 more seconds if others have not. And there's some of these initial slides from the menti.com will also help you practice it, because that will be useful when you do your quiz. Okay, somebody is saying SEU. Yes, you will get one SEU also if you are collecting SEUs from education units. You will get that too. Okay, let's go back. So little bit about me. My name is NK Shrivastava. I am CEO and consultant agile transformation coach. I have been doing enterprise agile coaching with IBM for last 4+ years. I would have transformed more than 24 teams, about 3,000 to 4,000 team members. We also do project management, process improvements, and also I have some products that I have developed, which you see here in blue color. Essential Gear for Project Managers is a toolkit that project managers can use. PMP Exam Simulator is for people who are interested in taking the exam, need a simulator, and it's a very high quality simulator with about 1,000 questions already there, and we are going to add a couple of hundred more that we just got from PMI. Agility assessment tool is a tool to assess your agility. So all of you who are participating here have interest in agile, I would like you to go to agility assessment tool and assess agility of your teams and see what you get from the tool, what kind of information you get, and how can you use that information to improve agility of your teams. And then of course we have several videos. And before starting my own company in 2011, I had 20+ years of successful project management careers working in different companies, delivering projects, managing projects, recovering projects. So it's all about project management. That's what have been my career. Okay. So what's new at Refinem? So as I was saying that we do monthly webinars. So our next will be October 7, and we'll be talking about Agile Matrix. What are the measures that you can use to show team improvement to the team, as well as to anybody who would like to know how the team is, improving the bottom line or the top line. And then we will, on November 4, we have another webinar using Agile to stay resilient during the challenging time, like this time of COVID-19, and everybody has several challenges that they are dealing with. How can we use Agile to stay resilient during this time? And that will be delivered through projectmanagement.com. Once a quarter, we do that. And if you are a member of PMI, you can go to projectmanagement.com, search for webinars with my name, and you will get all my webinars. And of course, we talked about these products that we have. And if you are interested in learning about these, you can go to these sites and learn about these. So let's start with the overview of leadership. Okay. So we'll talk about things like who is a leader, okay, and who is a manager. Sometimes there's the difference, who managers, leaders, what's the difference? And one of the key aspect of leadership is having very strong emotional intelligence, And I have a one-day class on leadership, and we spent like an hour on emotional intelligence, just on emotional intelligence in that class. So let's have let's have a little bit deeper conversation on this. So leadership. Who is a leader? So leader is one who sets vision. 40,000 feet high vision. Like you can say leaders are visionary kind of thing. So they set vision. Where shall we go? Or which direction shall we go? Why shall we go there? So why we are doing it? This is what we want to take the company here. We want to take the team here. This is the vision for the company. This is the vision for the tool, and why. I think one of the question that every leader answers is why. Why we want to do this? Why we want to go there? And that helps in aligning people to that vision. That's the second thing. Like, so he has a vision, he or she has a vision, but then he or she need to align people to that vision, and then inspire them and energize them to work towards that vision. Okay. So first of all, set the vision, develop the vision, and then align people to that vision, and then inspire and energize people to that vision. So that's what the leaders do. They may not get into nitty-gritty details of the things. Okay, it's more abstract, answering the things why, and helping people understand why behind that, and inspire. Inspire. Part of the inspire is what is in it for me. Okay, so the leader answer this question for everybody. So everybody gets it, that why should we do this? What is my part in this, and how that part is going to help me and the team and the company, right? So what is in it for me is also answered. So that is how the inspiration or energization comes with the people, because now I know this is where the company is going, this is where the leader of the company is taking us, and this is how the company will get benefited, this is how the team will get benefited, this is how I will get benefited. Okay, a very important part. If a leader misses that part, then it will be difficult to align people and inspire people to that vision, or his or her vision. Okay, and then what a manager does, so manager is all about planning, organizing, and solving problems, solving people's. Okay, so a manager manages work, organizes people, solves problem. So he is the one who gets into the nitty-gritty of the things, the detailed work, dealing with complexity. So at a very high level, the leader deals with change and manager deals with complexity. Manager knows how to break this huge problem into smaller pieces and solve the puzzle. Okay. That's what they solve problem, they solve the puzzle. So they are big problem solvers. Okay. Whereas leaders saying, okay, here is where we're going now. Now you guys figure out how we're going to do that. Okay. But this is what we would like to do. Okay. So that's the key distinction. And just keep in mind that for a single person, it may not be either or, right? It may be this and this. So the same person may have both qualities. The same person may be able to set vision as well as can take a deep dive and solve the problem. No, that's possible. But as far as in pure terms, what a leader does, what a manager does, and you can read a very detailed article by Harvard Business Review, and this is the kind of summary from there. It's called as what leaders do, or what do the leaders do, or something like that. So you can, and Philip, if you can find that article, if you can Google that and put the URL or the title of the article in the chat box for everybody, that would be great. Okay, so let's keep moving forward. The other piece, understanding the emotional intelligence part. Emotional intelligence is extremely important for the leaders. And this is how, because what they have to do is they are not going to create a schedule, they are not going to assign roles and responsibilities. They actually have to understand, what's going on in their mind and how do I motivate them, how do I align them. So for that reason, the leaders with high emotional intelligence succeed more than the leaders with low emotional intelligence. And there are 4 areas within emotional intelligence. So first 2 relates to self. So self-awareness, awareness about the feelings and emotions that the person himself has, and so realizing or keeping yourself aware of that. Because if you're not about your emotions or feeling, then you may say or do things that you may not want to, or may later on realize that you should not have done that, right? Many times it happens that you are angry, you lose control, do things that later on you say, oh, I should not have done this. Okay. But if you're aware that this is something that pushes my buttons and I lose control, if you know that, then the second part is that you can manage it. So many times you say, if I am upset, maybe I got an email, a very nasty email from a customer or my boss or whosoever, and you are tempted to respond to it because at that time you are upset, you're very angry, but if you are aware that you're upset and angry, then how you can manage it, that one of the ways to manage is to, don't respond right away, right? And I can tell you almost 100% sure, in such a situation, if you responded right away versus if you responded maybe 30 minutes later, or even 10, 15 minutes later, your response is going to be totally different. And this is what happens, that when your response goes, the other side that receives the response, either in person or over email or whatever, they also react to it. They also, then that creates a kind of, image that they have about you. Okay. Or that may turn into kind of, somebody else also responding in a negative manner, and then it just escalates. Okay. Versus if you are aware of your feelings and your emotions, then you can manage it. But if you are not aware, you cannot manage it. So first is about awareness, and second is about management. So that's about self part. So number 3 and 4 are about others. Social awareness. What is being aware of how others are feeling at the moment, or so that also is very important, how others are feeling, and then based on that feeling, changing your response, and that helps building relationships. And that is how you can manage relationships. And that in today's world, or almost forever, that about networking, about building relationships, and stronger relationships are very helpful in business and personal lives. So building strong relationship comes from being socially aware about feeling about others, and also then managing the situation based on what feelings other have, right? So these 4 together helps develop emotional intelligence or improve emotional intelligence. And that's where it is very helpful for leaders to understand that a leader who is calm, quiet, and doesn't react very quickly are normally more successful than the leaders who react very quickly.
So coming to agile part, now we understood and reviewed a kind of an overview of leadership. Let's talk about the agile part. So agile manifesto, many of you would have already seen. This is the heart of agile. So basically in agile world, the things on the left are more important than the things on the right. People and their interactions are more important than process and tools. People need to interact, people need to talk, people need to come up with solutions. Okay, so that's more important. There has to be interaction between team and the customer. And then working software is more important than comprehensive documentation. I get, every time I talk about it, I get a question, we don't have to document? No, you still need documentation. But we're talking of detailed documentation and also how much time you spend. So if you're spending 50% of your time in documentation, that may not be required. So maybe you're spending 10, 15, 20% of your time in creating a documentation that is needed for developing the software and supporting the software. That's okay, right? Similarly, customer collaboration is more important than contract negotiation. Having relationships, having collaboration is more important. And last but not the least, responding to change. So plans have to be created. It's not that the plans don't have to be created. The plans have to be created, but then willingness to change or respond to change based on the changing customer needs is something that is very important than sticking to the plan. Okay, so that's the heart of the agile manifesto, and then that manifesto is represented in 12 principles. I'm not going to go through each of these principles over here, but I go through with them in a greater detail in my day-long class, Agile Fundamental class. I go through that. These are the 12 principles that any agile implementation or any agile team is supposed to follow. And then you have mindset. What should be the mindset? This is a very key part. This is like more like, not like doing a practices or ceremonies or all those kind of things, but what should be the mindset? The mindset should be value focus. Always saying, what is the value in doing it? How can we increase the value for the customer? How can we deliver value faster? So this value focus, what is the value of what I'm doing to the customer? So that's the mindset. Fixed cost and time. In all agile projects, you have fixed cost and time. The scope can be flexible. It's a little, other way around. In waterfall world, your scope is fixed, and cost and time can change if with the scope changes. But in this case, time and cost are fixed, and scope can change. And deliver highest value within fixed cost and time. So making sure that within that much time frame, you deliver highest value. Deliver a working software at the end of each iteration or a sprint. So something, not the stories that are half complete. No, not that. It should be working. So the focus should be on working. The mindset should be, instead of 5, I will do 4 or 3, but they have to be working perfectly. Okay, half completed things don't add any value. So you're not delivering value if something is like 90%, even 90% done. It has to be 100% done. Then only it will create value for the customer. If it is 60, 70, 90% done, it will not create value for the customer. So that comes from the value in self-managing teams. So self-managing teams don't need managers. That's not true. Okay. So self-managing teams also need managers, but the managers or leaders have to do something different, right? And we'll talk about that. Delivering faster with self-managing team doesn't mean chaos or poor quality. So quality doesn't suffer, even the team is delivering faster. So if you say, oh, we have to deliver fast, so it's okay if we deliver
little bit, lesser quality. Or if it is a chaos, nobody knows what's going on. Everything looks ad hoc. So delivering faster doesn't mean that. Okay. So now we understand agile. We understand leadership. Now, if you want to see it together, so what does agile leadership mean to you? Let's go to Menti again, and try to answer this question. What does agile leadership mean to you? You may just stay there, and you will see the second question come up on your screen or tablet, and you can type your response. What does agile leadership mean to you? So I'll give you a little time. I see only one response. Other may be thinking. What does agile leadership mean to you? Respect, fun, adaptive. Okay. Good response. Okay. Getting team on board. Okay. Very good. Adaptive. Yeah. That's coming in the center. Adaptive. Vision with flexibility. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Adaptive. I like it. Adaptive. Flexibility. Yeah. 10 more seconds if anybody would like to add. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, you can keep still inputting it. At the end of the webinar, when you get the slides, you will get these slides also. Okay, so let me give you a leadership context here before we get to other slides. So you might have seen the icebergs, or you might, if not seen, you may be aware of the iceberg, right? Most of the time, the iceberg has a bigger portion below the water. You can see it sometimes is a tip of the iceberg, right? We say that, tip of the iceberg, because there is a lot of stuff below the water that you don't see. So to implement agile successfully, you not only do ceremonies, tools, metrics, process, or methods. That's where you may start, right? But full-blown transformation doesn't come from just from this. It comes from the things which is like below the water. So below the water, I think that's very important to understand. And this is what contributes 90% to agile transformation. This contributes to only 10% to agile transformation. Okay. So if you start doing it, you may see some benefit, but you don't get real benefit from this unless you take care of these parts here. Culture, team empowerment, continuous learning, transparency, fast failure, allowing all this to happen. Team structure, the teams need to change, the structure need to change. You cannot have those structure where one person works on 5 different projects. That is not sustainable in agile world. That need to change. And that's a big thing. Going from multitasking environment to single tasking, or working in multiple teams to single teams. Very difficult change. Very difficult change. But you don't see benefit because the person is lost in these ceremonies. If person works on 4 different projects, 4 different teams, he is doing all these ceremonies for all 4 teams. What a waste, right? Safe environment, creating safe environment, allowing for failure. Agile mindset, we were talking about what is the agile mindset, right? Servant leadership, not command and control. Very difficult. This shift is very difficult. Extremely, extremely difficult. And of course, continuous learning. So that is where you see the 90%, that's where agile leadership is crucial. So the leaders or agile leaders work on this 90% of the thing. So that's a true agile leadership. That's a true agile leadership working on this. This team can work on this. You don't need much here. Maybe a scrum master. That's good enough, right? That's good enough. But this is the bulk of the thing down here. That's where agile leadership comes into play. That's where the leaders in the organization need to focus on. That are they supporting their team with this? If they are not doing this part, the teams cannot go too far. Okay. All right. Keep this picture in mind. Okay. So now let's talk about each aspect, making customer satisfaction as number one priority. So that's the first thing, that customer is number one. Ensure customer needs are at the top of the list. Empower customer to engage with the team. So whatever need to happen, customer comes first. Whatever the team is doing, the team need to do to satisfy customer. And that the leaders need to ensure that that happens. That happens. Team is not lost in the weeds doing something else rather than focused on customer. That becomes priority number one. The second part that leaders have to do, agile leaders have to do, is develop agile prioritization. Okay, agile prioritization. Because I have seen many different kinds of prioritization. So the agile prioritization is where you, if you have 20 things to do, you rank them 1 to 20, not high, medium, low. And that's a big cultural shift. That's very hard to do. So ranking them 1 to n is not easy. Because in many organizations, I have seen that leadership would like to do everything. You know, it's like moving 100 projects 1 inch every day versus moving 5 projects a mile every day. There's a lot of difference. So sometimes the leadership says we have to show progress on all 100 projects. Well, you may say we have achieved these tasks, we have done these tasks, but what you deliver to the customer? Nothing. Right? How you deliver value to the customer faster. And that can only be done if the entire team, entire organization is focused on top 2 or 3, 4, 5 things. And nobody is working on, multiple teams. Everybody is focused on one thing. Okay. Make sure highest value items are delivered first, and make sure team items are being groomed so that you know the details, you know how it can be implemented. So developing agile prioritization is a big leadership act. Okay. And then leading with agile prioritization. So you got the prioritization done, and then you also manage that, or you also lead with agile prioritization. Make sure customer is in line or is on the same page related to priorities. Actually, you make sure that the team or the product owners work with the customer to develop prioritization, to prioritize, and make sure team is clear. Team will ask the question, why we are doing it? Why we are not doing this first and this next? Why number one is number one? So they need to have a good understanding of the priority. Okay, then only it is possible to deliver as per the priority. And they are ready to work on highest value items. So any kind of obstacles, any kind of blockers that exist, they need to be removed. So developing agile prioritization and then leading with agile prioritization, they're two different things. And the agile leaders need to ensure that both of these happens. And then, of course, creating self-managed empowered teams. Very important aspect, below the water word, right? Let the control go. Very hard thing for
15, 20, 30 years, all those leaders have been doing command and control. Okay, that they will say this is where the buck stops, kind of thing, right? So, and they have been providing the direction, and people are also looking upwards for every decision. It's very hard for both, very hard for the leaders to let the control go, and very hard for the team also to stop looking upwards. And this happens from the top. So any kind of change happens from the top. So the leaders have to let the control go, let the team take decisions, and be a servant leader, support them, remove barriers. If the team is facing issues, challenges, understand those challenges and remove those challenges so the team can take decisions and move forward. And don't solve problem for them, right? So if you keep solving problem for them, then they will keep coming to you. Encourage them to solve the problem themselves. Maybe provide guidance. Maybe provide options, right? But let them make the decision. So if there is a problem, you may have a conversation with, yeah, well, I think there are 3 or 4 things you can do here, but you decide what you want to do. Or let the team come up with the options. That may still be better. Let them facilitate problem solving. So that's how you build a team, and that is how this is a growth opportunity for leaders, so that they don't have to do everything. Their teams do the things. And guess what? If every decision has to go on the top has to come from the top, there's a bottleneck that is being created. The team will be waiting for the leader to make a decision and communicate that decision to the team. That's a wastage of time and energy for the team. Team may have to be waiting, I don't know how much time, maybe sometimes several days, right? And in absence of such a decision, there could be a chaos that may happen. So it is important for leaders to help team become self-managed. And the first part of that is let the control go. Okay. Creating a safe environment. Okay. Safe environment where everybody can talk openly and freely. There is no punishments, right? People should not be scared to say things openly, right? So creating that kind of an environment where people can participate. I have been involved in multiple agile transformation for different teams and organizations. And I have seen in the beginning, when you have, stand-ups, when you have retrospectives, people don't talk. People don't talk. Their managers may be sitting in the same room. They don't talk. So sometimes as a coach, I have to say, manager, you don't participate in this, right? Or we have to do extra coaching for the managers, right? So the managers understand that they sometimes, they may hear things that they don't like, but that's the key thing. You like it or not like it, let people talk freely. Create a safe environment of where people can talk. So become a facilitator rather than the boss. Become a facilitator. Make sure everyone's voice is heard in stand-up, reviews, retrospectives, whatever the ceremony is being done. So creating safe environment. And the other aspect of agile leadership is managing work, not people. Managing work, not people. Very important part. So prioritize work by ranking items in the backlog. So that's managing work. Managing work means, okay, what work need to be done now? What work need to be done later, right? Prioritizing. So that's the part that we prioritize, ensure teams understand that priority, and let team figure out how to deliver. So don't get into that.
Let team figure out. Now team knows this is what they have to do. Now you're not going to manage the people there. You are going to do this, you assign work to this person, you do this, you do this. No, that is what is managing people. So the agile leadership is about managing work, not people. People will figure out things. Let them become self-empowered. They will figure things out. They will figure out what is the best thing that works. They know, every team member knows every other team member, believe me. And they know who is good at what and who is not good at what. So managing work, not people, and welcoming changes. Whenever there is a change that comes, make sure that they are prioritized in a timely manner, because that's what the customer has come up. Make sure that gets prioritized. Make sure customer agree with updated priority, because now you had in the backlog these 20, 30 items, you have already prioritized 1 to 20, and now 2 more comes. Where they go? They don't go at the bottom, of course, right? So they go at number 7 and number 11, and make sure that the customer is agreeable to now the new priority of 1 to 20, 22 rather. Okay, so that's an important part, to have a conversation with the customer and ensure team welcomes changes. They are saying, oh no, we cannot do this. So that's a mindset. So agile leadership need to make sure that the team has the right mindset. Okay, and then fostering culture of transparency. Everybody knows what's going on, right? There is no wall, or there is no secret things going on. So everyone knows what's going on. That's a culture of transparency. So that also need to be developed. That's a responsibility of the agile leader. Develop culture of transparency. Make sure everyone feels empowered to share concerns. Encourage use of information radiators. So what are information radiators? Information radiators are the charts and the slides, charts, or whatever, that show what team is working on, where the team is, how fast or slow the team is making progress, and what team is achieving. Is the team getting better? So any way to tell how team is doing, okay, where the backlog is, where the things are. So that is helpful, because that helps building transparency. So nothing is hidden, So make sure there are information radiators that are developed, and the team is using those information radiators. And of course, cultivating servant leadership with no control, facilitating, right? So being a leader, but a leader that serves, right? So those are some 6 or 7 things that I talked about, the aspect of agile leadership and what they have to do actually. Okay, what they have to do. So we'll go to menti.com very quickly, and we will see, okay, how important are the following to practice agile leadership in your organization. So if you go to menti.com, you will see a sliding scale. Okay, so if it is least important, you can be on the left. You'll see a little bulb, kind of a circle comes up, and you can actually slide it, okay, from left to right. Okay, so you can slide it and say, like, making customer satisfaction as number 1 priority. Is it least important or most important? So if it is least important, you leave the circle on the left side. If it is most important, slide the circle all the way to the right. Okay, so I will give you, this will take little time, so I'll give you maybe 30-40 seconds, no more than a minute. If you can look at that and start doing this will really help you to really think about this. Yeah, I see some responses start coming. Yeah, so I see. Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, it takes a little time for you to get there and start thinking about each one of these. Very good. So let's see if others come. Let's say others come on that. Okay, very good. Very good. Very good. And it's interesting to see most of the things are on the right hand side. That's amazing to see that. Yeah, like 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. I think 16 people have already participated in this exercise. Very good. Very good. Very good. Excellent. So seems like the customer satisfaction as number one priority is the topmost in all of your viewpoint. I think that you are absolutely right on the dot. That has to be the topmost priority. Okay, all right. Let's go back to, okay, now I have a quiz for you. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to start the quiz. Okay, so you stay where you are, but now when you start the quiz, you will be asked to enter your name, and you can pick any name. You don't have to, oh wow, okay. So 19 people are already there, and 20, and I will wait for as many people can join the quiz. 21 people have joined the quiz so far. Anybody else who want to join that? You have just 10 more seconds left. After 10 seconds, we'll start this quiz. Okay. So on the quiz part, you will be asked, you'll have a question, and there will be multiple choices, and you have to pick the right choice. It's a multiple choice kind of quiz. There are 6 or 7 questions. There are not a lot many. We should be done with this in about 5 minutes. Okay, so let's get started. Others who have not joined, watch how it goes. So answer fast to get more points. Answer right and fast. Which of the following is not one of the 4 areas of emotional intelligence? You have 15 seconds, 11, 10. So not one of the 4 areas of, we talked about emotional intelligence. Time is up. So it's calculating the, okay. Wow, everybody said right. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. Good going. Good going. So, and now it will give you some scores based on how fast you did this. Okay. So based on how fast you did, Casper is leading it. Okay. All right. Casper and Kristen are very close, very close. Okay. So our next question comes up is, so 2 of 7, so there are 7 questions. How many principles supplement the Agile Manifesto? So we talked about the principles, 9, 12, 15, or 3. Yeah, probably we should have given 5 seconds here. Okay, okay, we are all over here. So 20 people are saying it right. There are 12 principles. Remember that slide? We talked about 12 principles. Okay, so after second question, let's see, Casper is still leading. Very good. I don't know. Casper is still leading. Okay. Now let's go to the next question here. Agile Iceberg model, what percentage relate to ceremonies and practices? The upper part, right? You saw that iceberg, above the water. Okay, very good. Most of you responded right. And let's see if Casper is still leading. Yep, Casper is still leading. Okay, very good. Let's keep moving. So next question here relates to behaviors is least likely. So keep the word in mind, least likely, not most likely. Very good. So a lot of you are doing a great job. Wow, Casper is doing really good. I don't know who Casper is, but whoever you are doing really good. Is again least likely to help develop agile prioritization. 14, 15, 16, 18, 19 people, 20, 21. Okay, this is all over. Okay, very good. Still majority of you picked up the right answer. Let's see where we stand now. So Casper took little time. Okay. Wow, okay, there's some more people have come up. This has disrupted the order here. So Casper, you have 2 more questions to catch up. So what you are measuring, if you are measuring how much work the agile team completed. Very good. Very good. Cycle time is how much does a story takes to complete. So that's not how much work gets completed. Okay, Casper made some progress. Maverick is still on the top here. And this is the last question. Okay. We talked about this. What is information refrigerator? Okay. Okay, very good. So let's see who is the winner here of the quiz. It'll come up very soon. Let's see who is the winner. Okay, Marvick is the winner. So Marvick, whosoever you are, take a screenshot of this and email that to me. And Philip, please type my email address in the chat box, and you will also see in the contact information. So Marvick, send me the screenshot so I know that this came from you, because you will only get the screenshot. Okay, so send. You will see it that you are number 1. Okay, all right, very good. So let's go back to our PowerPoint here. So conclusion: agile leadership is much more than servant leadership. It involves much more effort. It requires deep knowledge of agile and an agile mindset. Very important part. So develop these to help your team succeed on agile. So agile mindset, very important. Okay, a very important part. So questions, and my email is here. If you were to send me an email, does anybody has any questions? Let's look at the chat box. So in agile world, who is asked to be an agile leader? Scrum master, PM, product owner, whosoever else. So different people play that role of agile leadership. So when I'm talking about agile leadership, I'm talking about the senior leadership of the company. So the CEO, the C-level executives, VPs, managing directors. So I'm talking about that. The Scrum Master and product owner also play a leadership role, because they are leading in some context of the team. But when it comes to the context of the organization, not just the team, okay, when the context is organization, then I'm talking of senior leadership. Okay, so there was a question here asked, so I just wanted to respond to that question. There is a okay, that was the question that I responded. Does anybody else have any questions? So considering all people can talk freely, how you recommend to prevent the focus of the discussion becomes lost when someone in the team talks too much? Yeah, I think Mughal, that is that is a problem, and that is a problem that the Scrum Master need to manage, and need to give chance to everybody. So one of the things that I have seen work really very well, so at any conversation, at the start of any conversation, if you use the sticky note exercise and give 5 minutes for everybody to write sticky notes. Nobody talks. They just write sticky notes, 5 minutes, and they go stick it on the wall. If it is electronic, like we all are working remotely, there are a lot of software that allow you to do. I use Mural to do that. And people can use sticky notes, so everybody's voice is heard. And then the facilitator or the Scrum Master can group the similar stickies together. And then instead of discussing each sticky, you discuss the main point. Maybe there are 4 or 5 points, maybe there are 30 stickies on the wall, but there are only 4 or 5 points. So I think in that way, you can see that everybody's voice will get heard. Okay. Use a gatekeeper. Okay. Okay. All right. Any other question? Any other question? So my next Lunch and Learn webinar is Agile Metrics, as I talked to you about that. So that's coming up. And I have a training coming out in Agile Leadership. So an all-day training on Agile Leadership. That's coming up on October 30th. It's a half day. It's a half day training. So if you register by October 16, you get $50 off. So register. We go from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time. We will go much deeper on all these topics that just saw. So it was like tip of the iceberg that you saw today. But in that class, we'll go much deeper. This is a 4-hour class instead of a 1-hour webinar. So we'll have opportunity to go in detail. So if you are interested in learning more, and we'll have much more opportunities for Q&A and doing some exercises, sticky note exercises as well. So you can register for this webinar. This is how you get your PDUs. And last chance for any questions. Okay. All right. Thank you. Somebody is asking for the PDU screen. Let me take the PDU screen. Okay. And Karen, you will get the slide deck. So slide deck will have the this slide as well. So you should be able to get this. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.